An improved and hungry squad, 22 years of frustration, back-to-back runners-up. Would season 2021 finally be Dynamo's year? Hello, I'm Peter G. This is University Dynamo season 2021 in review.
Another South Hobart season opener, and Dipon Saka put Dynamo on track for a better start, latching onto Paul Bremner's defence-splitting pass and finishing coolly. The second half had a touch of controversy that put Dylan Clarkson on the penalty spot to open his Dynamo account. And with South still fuming, the same player met Angus Ewing's byline cutback moments later to give Dynamo complete control in their customary 4-3-3. South replied with a fine chipped finish to tip the balance slightly, but Lockie Brown timed his run soon after to mark a comfortable conclusion. A long season ahead, the right way to start. Some familiar faces visited Olinda Grove with Clarence Zebras in round 2 for a fascinating battle. Jing Jing Lu's enthusiasm exceeded his composure from the penalty spot. And that's as close as Dynamo came in a frustrating 70 minutes marked by resolute Zebras defending. It looked like being a dark afternoon when Jing's headbutt reduced Dynamo to 10 men midway through the second half. But Mark Brown showed his aerial prowess soon after to open the scoring and the floodgates. Playing left back in a narrow 4-3-1-1, Lockie Brown gave Dynamo a welcome cushion a few minutes later with an absolute worldly from the wing. And with Zebras now doing the chasing, Angus Ewing stroked home Lockie Brown's tee-up to open his season account and make it job done. There was still time for Jack Karamia to score his first Dynamo goal as the Red Men rattled off 4 goals in 20 minutes while a man down. A strange but satisfying way to go 2-0. Metro Under Lights has served up some classics over the years, and the in-form Lockie Brown raced through to give Dynamo the initiative in this one. Metro then shocked the Reds with 2 goals in as many minutes, as Darren Chaffee's strength and hold-up play came rushing to the fore, with no Mark Brown to counter it. Dynamo recovered the lead before half-time though. Jack Harrison marked his cameo with a back corner stunner, and Vladimir Volkov calmly poked home at the near post. Another setback greeted the second half as Kieran Roach unluckily turned a dangerous free kick into his own net. But midway through the half, Bremner's precision and Nick DeFalco's composure gave Dynamo back the lead. It took calm and character to see out the result, but Dynamo prevailed in the first tight one of the season to continue the perfect start. A round 4 washout meant it was Kingborough next at the Grove. Dylan Clarkson produced a classy moment on his right wand to get the Reds up and running after a tricky opening. Having made it back to Hobart for the second half, Bremner showed strength and guile to get his first of the season and give the home side a buffer against a busy young Lions side. He made the game safe soon after, anticipating at the back post from Kenny Forshaw's beautifully floated free kick. Kingborough snared a late consolation from an error, but it was 3 more points for Dynamo and a season gaining strong momentum. Dynamo's biggest test yet came in the form of last year's champions, as Taroona visited Olinda Grove looking to correct a patchy start. They began well, taking the lead with a nicely worked opener from the half space. DeFalco tapped in Lockie Brown's corner to restore parity at the break. It was the defending champions who appeared to seize control in the second. A quick breakaway and outstanding chip spelled major danger. It got worse shortly after, as failing to clear gave Taroona a handy cushion. Dynamo's season was in peril and character was needed, fast. The comeback started with Lockie Brown's precise free kick onto Bremner's reliable forward. Then a Taroona handball brought DeFalco to the spot for the most important penalty of his Dynamo days. He produced the usual cool result. From 3-1 down, a point might have seemed a decent salvage for the men in red. But that's not how fairy tales work. And in the first minute of stoppage time, that man Bremner forced his speculative shot downwards off the bar and in off the keeper to spark Dynamo jubilation and 3 points from the jaws of darkness. Successful seasons need quality, character and a bit of luck in the key moments. This one had it all. Fresh from conceding that dramatic late winner, Taroona returned to Alinda Grove a week later in the SC3 Cup quarter-final. This was the antithesis of a 4-3 thriller, with defences on top and clear openings hard to come by. Taroona's early thrust and carry saw Rowan Dick switch to 4-2-3-1, with more strength in holding midfield. Dynamo were indebted to Alistair Edwards' late save as a 0-0 stalemate took the game to penalties. Taroona streaked to a 3-1 lead and looked set to go through, but that seems a dangerous scoreline in these encounters. From there on, Dynamo were perfect, and Edwards came to the fore as the Reds prevailed 4-3 in the first round of sudden death. It was gutting for Taroona, who'd seen Dynamo fight back to snatch victory from oblivion 2 weeks in a row. League going well, onwards to the Cup semi-final. After a disappointing 2020, Huon Valley were out of the traps quickly and looking like Dynamo's main rivals at the top. They came to Alinda Grove in round 7 for what already felt like a title 6-pointer. Facing Valley without your most dominant defender can be daunting, and with Mark Brown missing, a messy situation gave the visitors the lead. Dynamo laboured for the first time in the season, and early in the second half, Huon sliced open the Reds' makeshift defence for a hammer blow second. It was a chastening afternoon as Dynamo struggled to produce much of note against narrow, no-nonsense defending. The final whistle brought confirmation that this was a real title race and there'd be no plain sailing. 2 contrasting styles, an intriguing battle ahead, and very little margin for error. Eager to bounce back, Dynamo went to South Hobart in round 8, but made the worst possible start. A long ball caught the Reds in blue napping and behind in the very first minute. Traditionally a powerhouse in this league, South had been struggling for rhythm this campaign, and they'd be unhappy with the space afforded to Bremner as he nodded in Foreshaw's corner to equalise. Dynamo needed a spark in the rain, and early in the second half, Jack Karamia's well-placed shot delivered joy and momentum. A few minutes later, Dynamo had the game by the scruff as Brandon Thompson tapped in his first goal to give the visitors a buffer. It was fairly routine thereafter, with Karamia on song and Catalan midfielder Gayfrey Malera Calvez having a particularly good game, linking play and dictating the tempo. A return to scoring ways after 2 goalless games and the necessary bounce back achieved. By this point, Hewen had dropped points against Kingborough, Hobart United and Metro, handing Dynamo the title race initiative, but still plenty of work to do. Dynamo had struggled to break down Clarence for much of their last game, but this was a more routine encounter at Wentworth Park. It started sadly though. Kenny Forshaw's season ended prematurely after rupturing his Achilles in the warm-up. Angus Ewing returned to the score sheet, poking home the opener after some pinball in the box. Zebras had their chances, but on the break, Josh Fashion slotted his first goal of the season after returning late from injury. He definitely enjoyed it too. Lockie Brown then finished a move of real beauty, stroking home after 17 passes. The build-up featured plenty of 1- and 2-touch passing and a back heel assist.
Oh, that's a great goal.
The back heeler, Paul Bremner, bagged a goal of his own in the second half and then another with his head despite some offside conjecture. A welcome routine win. It's rarely straightforward against Metro, and after huffing and puffing through the first half of this one, Dynamo was stung by the visitors' direct opener early in the second. It took sharp link-up play by Bremner and Fashion to equalise, leaving about half an hour to win the game. Fashion now had his scoring boots on and pounced for the lead when the Metro keeper's ageing hamstrings let him down. Clarkson gave some comfort with a fine-placed finish, and it was just as well. Metro roared back with a late penalty. And Dynamo needed a clutch save from Edwards in the dying moments to protect 2 crucial points. The slip-up was avoided, but only just. Round 11 brought a bogey side of recent years as Hobart United visited the Grove, having missed round 4 in a washout. History repeated with a back third giveaway presenting United with the opener. It was the 5th time in 6 league games that Dynamo had conceded first, an unwanted pattern. The Red Men struggled to drag it back as organised defending and some wasteful long-range attempts ground down the clock. It looked more and more like one of those days. With time running out, Clarkson deceived the keeper to grab a fortuitous equaliser and spark mild relief. But there wasn't enough time to complete the comeback. 2 points dropped and an opening for Valley to exploit. Needing a response, the Reds went to Sherburne Park in round 12 against a young and improved Lions. Having become a dad just hours earlier, Bremner secured the perfect start, nodding in Josh Fashian's corner from an unlikely angle. The same man then grabbed a buffer, meeting Stevie Shellard's half-space cutback to double the advantage. The Rock the Baby celebration was sadly missing. The second half was more even, with Borough finding joy on the counter, and their energy paid off with 5 minutes left, finding an uncharacteristically easy route through the heart of Dynamo's rear guard. It sparked a few late nerves, but Dynamo had enough composure to see it out and return to winning ways. It's always a humdinger between Dynamo and Taroona, and this was no exception at Kelvedon Park. The Reds grabbed a crucial early goal as the tricky Angus Ewing teed up Lockie Brown to show his quality. The scorer limped off soon after, but Dynamo quickly doubled the advantage as DeFalco and Fachin teamed up in the half space to make a tricky fixture look reasonably comfortable at the break. 2-0, as they say, a difficult scoreline, and Taroona hit back early in the second to set nerves jangling. Dynamo needed to stand tall and dig in. Taroona had chances, but the men in red saw it through with pragmatism and composure for one of the most crucial wins of the season. Unfortunately, Lockie Brown's potentially nasty repeat injury took some gloss off the victory. To the big one again as Dynamo went to Huonville for a pivotal six-pointer. It started ominously with a penalty giving Valley the advantage. Chances were otherwise hard to come by as Huon dug in and looked for the customary counter-attack with long throws also dangerous. With 4-3-3 failing to penetrate, Dynamo changed system to attack with more width in the second half, but their threat was still largely blunted. With the clock ticking down and the season on the line, Mark Brown rose highest from a corner to head perhaps the most pivotal goal in Dynamo history and make amends for the earlier penalty. A frantic finale and bizarre amount of stoppage time couldn't yield a winner for either side. A point apiece kept it advantage Dynamo at the top of SC3, but only just.
That was a good contest.
Goal difference strongly favoured Huon. If both contenders stayed 100% in the final rotation of matches, or Dynamo dropped only 2 points, the title would come down to a final day showdown at Olinda Grove, with the draw in Dynamo's favour. Struggling South Hobart were back in round 15, and so was the concede first curse. Dynamo switched off at an early corner and got stung in embarrassing fashion. A quick response was needed and Joss Fashion slammed at home minutes later. Angus Ewing's pace and control nudged Dynamo in front before half-time, but the Reds still craved comfort. They got some early in the second after more good work from Ewing teed up Jing Jing Lu. Minutes later, Ewing continued his hot streak with a fourth that all but ended the contest. Feeling aggrieved about some tight offsides, South boiled over and saw red for double descent, possibly leaving the floodgates unmanned.
He's onside, he's onside.
Diponsaka broke clear to slot a fifth.
Too slow.
And Mark Brown built on his Huonville heroics with a late header for 6 of the best. It wrapped up the season treble over South Hobart, a welcome return to high-scoring ways after some tight encounters. Dynamo's only clean sheets in the league had come against Clarence, and this was a chance to build mid-season confidence and momentum against the Eastern Shore strugglers. Ewing met Lel Maiden's sumptuous cross to get things rolling and continue his outstanding form in front of goal. He popped up again with a fine finish on the run to put the Reds in comfortable control. Jake Undy had joined mid-season and was getting into his stride. He combined with the fit-again Lockie Brown to send Dynamo to the interval 3 up. The second half was equally one-sided. Saka pounced on hesitant defending to make it 4, and then 5 on the rebound shortly after. Undy doubled his money with a tap-in after some trademark Bremner bulldozing. And Lockie Brown celebrated his comeback by wrapping up 7th heaven. The biggest win of the season, a good day by the river. After 4-3 and 3-2 wins against Metro already, this promised to be a cracker for the neutrals. Diponsaka slotted early to calm the nerves, but some sloppy moments at the back let Metro equalise not long after. Fachin's in-swinging corners had become a potent weapon, and he set up Mark Brown to restore the lead. A rare goal by foot for the big man. Fachin pulled off another rarity a few minutes later, doubling Dynamo's advantage direct from a corner, with the Metro keeper grasping in the night. Metro wouldn't go away, however. A well-worked free kick and cracking shot from distance reduced the arrears. But Fachin made it a hat-trick of deadly corners, placing one on the prolific forward of Bremner. Yet again, Metro had a response, this time from a strange handball penalty early in the second half. But that's as good as it got for the home side. Ewing slid to restore the 2-goal advantage from Sarka's setup. And Nick DeFalco decided it was his time to shine with a superb 20-minute hat-trick. Sarka slotted home a 9th in the closing stages to complete a Friday night rout and Dynamo's highest scoring victory in many a year. 22 goals in 3 matches was good preparation for the finish lines ahead. Dynamo got a break from super tense league action as rivals Huon Valley visited the Grove for a blockbuster cup semi-final. They'll be sick of seeing Mark Brown rise to meet corners. He nudged the home side in front after a promising start. Despite being an on-the-deck passing side, the Reds' aerial dominance continued. Ewing found the perfect trajectory from Bremner's chipped cross to seemingly give Dynamo 1 foot in the final. But Huon are rarely on the canvas for long, and they reacted quickest to halve the deficit moments later. But Dynamo would still have a healthy advantage at the break. A controversial handball put skipper Nick White on the spot to make it 3-1 at the interval. Wind, rain and Huon Valley laid siege to Dynamo's goal in the second half. After holding out for most of it, the deficit was again halved via a deflection with just 11 minutes to go. And just 4 minutes later, another deflected effort skidded in to complete the orange comeback and leave Dynamo again needing the lottery of penalties to reach KG5. Huon carried their momentum into the shootout, leading 2-0 early on, but Alistair Edwards and Dynamo's late order takers again stepped up to reverse the trend and send the Reds to a second cup final in 3 years. The league and cup double was alive. Would KG5 yield the right outcome this time around? The first of 3 quick-fire encounters against Hobart United, and with Dynamo missing the free-scoring Angus Ewing, this round 18 clash was far from straightforward. The Red Men edged the first half but couldn't convert. With an hour gone, Dipon Sarka capped a good performance by outfoxing the keeper and teeing up Josh Fachin to bring palpable relief. It stayed tense until Bremner was gifted an open goal sealer with 10 minutes to go. It wasn't a fluent performance, but it was just about enough. Awful conditions greeted the visit of Kingborough in round 19, with wind, cold and lashing rain making proper football next to impossible. Both sides gave it a shot and Dynamo came close to breaking through. But after 20 arduous minutes, the referee and both sides were content to head inside and look to a midweek reschedule. The KG5 Cup final against Hobart United. The stand was packed, the support was noisy and the stage was set. With an early scare survived, Angus Ewing skinned one of SC3's best defenders to win Dynamo an early penalty. It wasn't to be, but heads stayed high as the men in red settled down to business and edged a cagey first half. Chances were proving rare on the big open ground as both sides grafted away. The pendulum seemed to have swung decisively midway through the second half as United were reduced to 10 men. But Dynamo's opponents dug in and showed real fight. United survived the rest of 90 and an extra time onslaught to earn their way to penalties. Both sides missed early, but conversion became the dominant pattern. Still deadlocked after 4 shots each, United faltered high into the Glenorchy night, putting the red men on the brink. It fell to Vice-Captain Lel Maiden to hit the top corner with ice-cool composure, sparking delirious scenes. 3 draws, 3 shootout wins and just 3 goals for and against in 300 minutes of cup football. But it doesn't matter how the victories come. There were even a few tears as Dynamo won their first ever trophy after many years of trying. Even bigger ambitions lay ahead, and this was a night to celebrate that breakthrough achievement. Round 20 was supposed to be another Taroona showdown, but the home side's failure to organise nets, flags, dressing rooms or toilet access at their borrowed ground meant football wasn't possible. A 3-0 forfeit win, and both sides settled in for an impromptu half-pitch training session instead. Dynamo returned to the scene of their cup triumph for a midweek catch-up with Kingborough. With Hewan having drawn 4-4 against Taroona in recent weeks, the men in red knew victories against Lions and Hobart United in a busy 5 days would seal the title before Hewan's final day visit. The open spaces of KG5 again proved hard work, and an energetic young Kingborough side were hard to break down. With 15 minutes left and nerves jangling, the Fachin-Bremner corner combination again came good, as the latter dived headlong to consolidate his place in Dynamo folklore. There were late scares as Lions poured forward, but another brave and narrow victory took Dynamo one step closer to glory. Dynamo came to Wiley Park on Father's Day for a round 4 catch-up with a first ever league title in reach. 3 points would make the final day against Huon Valley irrelevant, but any dropped points would leave the Reds still needing to avoid a showdown defeat in 7 days. Fachin latched onto Bremner's delightful ball to settle nerves and send Dynamo on their way. Jake Undy then struck a classic volley befitting the occasion as the signs looked better and better. Midway through the second half, DeFalco burst clear to increase the breathing space. Then Bremner took it upon himself to waltz through for number 4. And then number 5, as the countdown to party time beckoned. The final whistle brought joy, relief and immense pride as University Dynamo finally secured its first league title after 2 decades of striving. final day against Valley brought a chance to relax and celebrate title success, as the would-be decider instead became a welcome dead rubber. Angus Ewing capped a positive start with a smart finish to get the party up and running. On the stroke of half-time, fill-in Henry Moss showed his pace and skill to add a second off the post. Valley had chances as always, but Dynamo, playing their alternative 3-4-3, still looked most likely to score. The returning Lockie Brown had a compelling penalty shout denied, and a curious decision that the ball had crossed the byline ruled out DeFalco's sharp finish. In the end, 2 goals was enough. The clean sheet also marked more than 470 minutes without conceding, dating back to the closing minutes of the Cup semi-final. The defensive unit of Mark Brown, Kieran Roach, Lel Maiden, Rick Konings and Steve Shellard had grown into a cohesive force, with Nick White, Bremner and Jing Jing Lu providing crucial protection in the holding midfield slot. The bonus final day result put icing on Dynamo's first successful season and ushered in a summer of supreme satisfaction.
Finally, after more than 2 decades, Dynamo has a season for the ages. The folklore is laid. In 6 months' time, will the first-time champions become the first-time defenders? I'm Peter G, and on behalf of Dynamo Productions, thanks for being with us, you little beauty.